Um, Linux for the rest of us, I love because of Steve M. and Steve C. do such a great job on it. Android App Addicts, having an Android phone, I love listening to that for the Android apps that you guys use. Podnutz Daily is also one of my favorites. I've learned so much from all the text. I mean, there's just so much stuff. It's just so hard to say how much there is that I've learned. And one of the problems is I can't listen to all of the podcasts because of my limited bandwidth, as anybody who's listened to me on the podcast knows. And that brings me into my other point. Podnutz also has showed me how much I really love being on the show and being one of the contributors. I really think that's cool. And I have to thank Steve C. for giving me the opportunity to go on behalf of Podnutz out to CES. That was great of him, and I really appreciate it. I hope I can contribute to the show in the future, even though I'll probably be leaving the computer repair business, but I am going to stay in it somehow. So if I think I have relevant material, I'll definitely be on the show again because I really like to do it. Congratulations on show number 300, Steve C., and the rest of the Podnutz gang. Keep it up, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Motto, everyone. Hey, we're going to be joining you next year at CES too, by the way, but don't mention it. And you could definitely, I know that you can definitely contribute in future shows, even if you are out of the computer repair business. I mean, look, I'm doing it. Okay, next voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Podnutz, this is Mind Meld. I just wanted to call and say happy 300 to Podnutz Daily, and it's my favorite show on the Podnutz Network. I've learned so much over the last, year and a half that I've been listening to it, and I love the tips, I love the tricks, I love the guests, I love, the apps and everything about it, so keep it coming. And we want to continue with Podnutz Daily for a long, long time. So thanks to everybody that contributes and listens, downloads, and congratulations, Podnutz.
Thank you, Mind Melt. Awesome voicemails you guys are sending me. This is just killer. I'm glad you like Podnutz Daily, man. Thank you for all your contributions to Podnutz Daily and the other shows. I totally appreciate it. Thank you for the voicemail. Okay, rolling along here.
Yeah, hey, Steve, it's Darren King from My Computer King. Hey, I was listening to your Podnutz Daily the other day, and they were talking about Fresh and QuickBooks. QuickBooks does have an online program that you can use, and it is accessible through your browser on your phone. You can invoice somebody immediately from there. So anyways, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Take care and keep it going.
All right, that was from Darren. We talked about that on Podnutz. I should have played that on that. I'll play it on next week's show on Podnutz too. But awesome tip, Darren. Thank you very much. The whole QuickBooks, FreshBooks war with maybe we'll have QuickBooks Online in the middle of that battle. This is an email from Dave from hostingclick.co.uk. Hello, Steve. Dave here from hostingclick.co.uk. I can't leave you a voicemail because my VoIP phone won't ring out anyone outside the U.S. for some reason. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for the person who told us about ninenight.com. If it wasn't for Podnutz, I would have not heard about this, and it keeps it helps my business every day. Keep up the good work, and thanks kindly, Dave Mason from hostingclick.co.uk. You can take a look at his site here. It's very, very, very nice looking. Nice for web hosting. He's got a web hosting company there. It's a beautiful site. I only hear good things about Dave, so you should give it a check it out there at hostingclick.co.uk. Thanks, Dave. All right, moving on. Here's another voicemail.
Hey, Steve and everybody on Podnutz Daily. Congratulations to episode 300. This is Mark in Reno. You might remember me from lastly on episode 220 and Podnutz episode 22. Anyways, my thing I think I learned the most from the show was a tip shared early on. I think it was by Kerry Holzman, perhaps before that. A tool called Dial-A-Fix, and I use that. I don't know if on a daily basis, but definitely on a weekly basis, where there's a Windows quirk tool that I use to fix that. So thought I'd pass that along. Take care. Look forward to 300 more shows. Bye-bye.
300 more shows. Wow, Mark. I can't even think about that right now. Dial-A-Fix. Yeah, I used to use that all the time in my shop. I don't know if it still works on 7 and Vista, how good it works, but I know it kicked butt in XP. It was always that tool where something weird was happening, you ran that program, and then that weird thing would stop. John or Tim, do you guys use Dial-A-Fix at all?
Sorry.
It's all right, no problem, John.
Go for it, John.
Sorry, yeah. I've used it a couple of times. In XP, it did, like you say, it worked really well. I didn't actually use it in Vista or 7. I tried to use it in 7, and it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
So I stopped using it. But like you said, in XP, it used to get rid of, like, it was tiny little things, and like they would just disappear, and it would say, "Oh, fixed all these problems," and it was really good for XP, but I didn't see any Vista or 7 compatibility for it.
Yeah, that's a shame. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe if you run it as an admin, it might work. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, maybe
guess.
maybe it's like Combo Fix, where with Vista and 7 you have to disable UAC to get it to run.
Ooh, that might be it. I don't know though. But Tim, you've used it for XP, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. It was my go-to tool many times in XP.
That was part of the regimen. I did a whole regimen on mainly cleanups, and that was always part of it. Okay, we got another voicemail here. Here we go. Play.
Hello, from Wilbur Bear. I've learned that there is still a great place on earth where you can still find good people willing to help and go the extra mile to help anyone who happens by, without a second thought or expecting nothing in return. Find that anywhere else in the world. I call it Podnutz Land. To me, Podnutz Land is like no other place on earth. Thanks to Steve C. and everybody in the Podnutz community. Thanks for all the great work, and thanks for all your help.
That's awesome. That's from Wilbur Bear.
Wilbur
Bear actually sent a second email saying, I wasn't sure if I said I was Wilbur Bear, so it's Wilbur Bear. No, but you did say it, so you know. That's awesome. Podnutz Land.
You could tell that was well thought out.
Yes. Welcome to Podnutz Land. Can you just imagine a theme park?
you can imagine one of those big, like Disneyland Paris. You walk in, there's a big picture of Steve. One of those kind of right in the middle of the park. There's a big picture of Steve, like with a laptop, with Adele maybe smashing it on the table. That might be.
Oh, how about the door-to-door geek coaster? Oh,
yeah, it would be utterly amazing. That was awesome. Thanks, Wilbur Bear. All right. Latvi. Hi, Podnutz. I'm now running my full-time shop, and it's great. However, I had my first customer complaint today. He had a DC socket job and took it home. Today, he came back to the shop, but I wasn't there, so he waited for me for about 20 minutes. When I showed up, he asked me why underneath the laptop one of the screws was a different color from the rest. Why all the bottom screws are black and one of them is silver, and which wasn't like that before he gave me his laptop. This laptop works fine, but any advice on what to do about situations like this? Well, Latvi, you know, I'm kind of a stickler on that. I would have tried to get all the same color, unless you just totally lost that screw. I would try to put all the same color back. I think that he might not be the only person who's going to care about something like that. I actually probably would have taken it back too, personally, if that was me. And it wasn't a computer. Maybe it was something else that I have no knowledge of, like cars. And somebody put a different thing on my car that I didn't like. I would have brought it back. My advice to you is try to give the computers back in the exact same, way that you brought them in, except that they're fixed now. But other than that, nothing cosmetically different. What do you guys think?
Well, I suppose what you could have done was just get a permanent marker and just coloured it in. So there you are.
Definitely could have done that.
You wanted a black screw? There you are. There's a black screw.
Right in front of his face. That would have been pretty good, actually.
Tim, there goes. It's the same metal.
Tim, what about you?
Nah, you guys nailed it. Just get a marker.
Really? All right. Next message from Door.
Hello, Steve. This is Door Geek. Calling up for the 300 episode. can't thank you enough for hanging in from the very beginning. I know it was hard. It was long. A struggle. We went from you owning a shop and giving us great tools like Trojan Demover, great tips like the leaf blower, to now hosting multitude of shows on all kinds of topics. I'm really thrilled to be a part of this, and I can't thank you enough for all your time and effort that you put in. And all the guests you've had, nothing but fantastic. Great job, sir. Talk to everybody later. Bye.
Damn. It's profound, Dor, man. I totally appreciate it. I mean, Podnutz would be nothing without Dor. You know, what Dor said about me, people have said the same thing about him many times over. And all of you guys, by the way. But, thanks, Dor. That's killer voicemail. I totally appreciate it. And thanks. All right. Next email here we got from Charles. He goes, "Hi, my name's Charles Coulter. I'm trying to approach a laptop that has a power-up issue. When powering up, it shuts down as if I were holding the power button down. I don't like to guess at what the problem may be, but I was hoping to get some feedback from experts like you. Does any of your video..." No periods. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. It's a long email with no periods. Next one. This is from... that's actually not a Podnutz Daily email. Wait, we're rolling through here. This one's from MindMelt. He says, "Hey, Steve, came across this link today. Thought it might be interesting to bring up for Podnutz or Podnutz Daily. 5 free tools to customize and tweak Windows 7 installation setup." I read this on Podnutz, but I want to give it on Daily as well in case somebody did not listen to the other show. It's a site called intowindows.com. 5 free tools to customize and tweak Windows 7 installations. Check it out. Intowindows.com. Just do a search for 5 free tools. It'll bring it up. Thank you very much for the link, MindMelt. This looks like good stuff. Oops. Next email. Let me get me on the camera there. This is from Sam. He says, "Hey, Steve, love your shows. They teach me a lot of stuff. I was wondering if you could help me with a laptop problem. I have an Acer Aspire 1 D250, and during startup, just after the first screen with Acer written on it, the laptop beeps. I can't describe the beep pattern exactly, but it's not one long beep. Any suggestions? P.S. I'm 13, so I don't know much about computers, but I understand most of the things in your show." Sam, it's funny. I think Fred, when we were in the TeamSpeak chat room, had the same problem with an Acer netbook. It was making a beep, but it definitely wasn't a beep code. You hit the power on, it would just start one long continuous beep with a couple clicks in the middle of it. His had liquid spilled in it. So I ask you, Sam, did anything spill into your laptop? That is my question. If not, maybe just the motherboard went on the fritz. But Fred did a lot of diagnosing. He replaced the RAM. He tore it down. He checked the motherboard for anything. Couldn't find nothing. So this might be a common motherboard problem with that model. It might be something to check out. But I know his did have a liquid spill, and that was one of his problems. Not sure if yours is similar or it's just a faulty motherboard. Anything you guys know on that?
Yeah, just really when it comes to almost all laptops, if you can't figure out a beep code or figure out why a laptop's not doing something like bad screen or doesn't get a screen, anything like that, just start taking parts off of it. Start pulling parts, memory, take out the hard drive, disconnect the keyboard, start just taking everything off the motherboard one by one and keep trying to boot it, see if that changes anything. Sometimes that could narrow down what the problem is. Very good point. If you could rip it down to just motherboard, RAM, CPU, try powering it up, see what happens. Good one, Timster. Okay, I think this is an older one. I think all of the congratulatory ones are done. So thank you very, 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 very much, guys, for that. And this is from Joe, I think.
Yeah, Steve, this is Joe from Tennessee again, and I wanted to tell you I love the new format on Podnutz, and for all the techs out there, if you're not listening to all Steve's shows, you're costing yourself money. I took Chris's idea from Podnutz, listened to it yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon. I sold it to a client on 4 computers at one time. Keep listening. It is a great show. Thanks, and bye. Okay. Well, first of all, Joe, I was looking at something else. I want to mention Joe.
I love those emails, Joe. Love those emails. They are awesome. I'm going to put them into some audio clips and broadcast those around. I'm really glad you're getting a lot out of the show. We've gotten a lot of awesome feedback about